Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. We're back today for a few more leaks and spoilers for the beginning of April. But hey, it's the weekend, so we didn't get a whole lot. But that's okay, we've got like over 120 in the last 2 days. Ugh. So yeah, you know. So, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 peeps still, so let's start it off first with this doozy. That's right, Nicol Bolas to Phyrexian. Just kidding. This was the April 1st, April's Fool card that they do every year. Just put it on there so you guys, if you haven't seen it, you can take a look at it just for giggles. You can notice down here at the bottom it says 1 of 1, set, blah, not for sale, MTG design, yada yada yada. However, it does look really cool. However, it's also dumb. I mean, 6 life and 3 mana for a 6/6 flying haste, toxic 5 creature, ward half your life, rounded up. Spells your opponent cast, cost an extra black or Phyrexian, and whenever an opponent loses the game, put a trample counter or double strike counter on Nicol Bolas Phyrexian. Just retarded. If they actually made something like this, it would be stupidly expensive and probably immediately get banned. And I'm just going to be honest with you, when I first saw this card, I did not immediately remember that it was April 1st, and I went, oh Jesus, what have they done now? Which is probably a testament to how possible this would be because of how dumb Wizards currently is. But that being said, there you have it. So let's move on to some actual cards. So some real leaks from today that we got we got this one, Invasion of Belinon, whatever that means. I have no idea where this is at. Somebody help me out in the comment section. So we get 1 white and 2 for a battle of 5. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white and blue night creature token with vigilance. So again, this is another battle that the red spell can blast off the field. And to be honest with you, 3 mana for a 2/2 knight is not the best. But the fact that if you flip it, it becomes a anthem isn't too bad. Although as much as I hate to say this, I don't think this is good enough for anything other than limited. Because 3 mana 2/2s that are fine. And if you get a thing off of it, so be it. Because you got to remember too, um, in limited, you got to look at two things when you're looking at a battle. Is it worth flipping the battle, or is it just worth punching your opponent in the face? Um, so there's that. Because the 5 damage you send at this could very well just kill your opponent in most formats, which is something I don't think we've really started to get into consideration when we start thinking about these battles. We thought about how cool they were, all the cool stuff it does, but what it's going to do in the long run is prolong the game if you're not killing your opponent and allow them to do some really silly shenanigans. So in limited, I think it's going to really come down to, is it worth playing the battle for what it gives you if you don't flip it? Because flipping it may be harder than you think, especially with creature fights. And trying to attack into it, yada yada yada. Well, you could probably just kill your opponent and be done with it. So that's something I've really been thinking about. I'm just gonna bring it up now. I'll probably give you a good set overview later with different kind of cards and what I think about the mechanics and everything. But that's really something that comes to my mind is, when I look at cards like this and I think, what's it good in? And limited is the only thing I can really think of for this. But then I'm thinking, do I really want to spend 5 damage minimum on this? I mean, if you use your 2/2 and nothing else, you're going to spend 6 damage because that's how math works. You got to hit it 3 times. Over the course of 3 turns, it's it may not be worth it. And some of these battles may not have the value that we think they do just because of that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. So, with that said, this is our new battle we got today. We did get one other card. The other card is Sunfall. 2 white and 3 sorcery. Exile all creatures. Incubate X, where X is the number of creatures exiled this way. For those of you who don't know what Incubate is when you get a token that has X counters on it for 2 mana, you transform it to 0/0, and the number of counters stay on it to make it a creature of power/toughness. So if you Sunfall for 5 creatures. That includes your own. You'll get a incubator token with for 2 colorless. They'll have 5+1/+1 counters on it that you can transform into a creature because it starts off as an artifact with no power and toughness. Now, with that being said, something else to think about here is if you use this to incubate things, and you have, I've been playing a lot of Brawl lately, and you whip out your card, and you animate your token, it will be as large as the +1/+1 counters without flipping it. Now, with that being said, it's probably better to flip it and keep it a permanent creature, but it is an option. Because the +1/+1 counters are going to stay there regardless, so it's really interesting how that interaction is. Probably not good enough, but it's just something to think about. I do love the flavor text on this. Let the light scour away your imperfect flesh. Heliod being, all perfectified and all. So, I think it's gonna be fine. It's a 5-mana wrath. That is a bit much, but you gotta do with what you can do. I don't know if this is good enough from what I've been seeing because of the high possibility of it being a very mono style aggro environment from what I've been seeing. And that kind of scares me a little. Not that I have anything wrong with aggro, but there's a fine line between aggro, mid-range, control, and I think that line is kind of being broken in March of the Machines, not Mother of Machines, in Mom. Your mom's breaking it, get it? Mom. Anyway, moving on. So it's going to be interesting to see if this does get a lot of play. Best case scenario, Commander guys will probably like it. But I don't think it is good for the current environment. With that said, if it becomes the only option for white, that will make it good and make it playable. Now, with that also being said, you have things like Farewell, that's 6 mana, but it does exile like this does, but it also has it is one more, but you can get artifacts, creatures, enchantments, graveyards. Like the extra mana does a lot, especially since you get to pick. This doesn't. This is just creatures. So, it is what it is, but it is another Wrath, and that does have something going for it. So, with that said, there you have it, guys. These are the cards that were spoiled today. For those of you who want to jump off before I start rattling, don't forget to like and subscribe. Try and get to 1,000 people. Links in the description below to the eBay store to get you some cards and other ways to support the channel. I really appreciate it. Help keep me unsponsored. I just want to say one thing. We haven't got all the way through the set yet, and I mentioned this on a previous video. If we don't get Sarok, if we don't get Sarok uppercutting a giant massive Phyrexian to death, I'm not going to be happy. Low hanging fruit, need to get there. Secondly, I'm not real happy how the story went with this set. The story was cool to a point, but they left out so much detail that could have been so good. For example, spoilers ahead, so if you really don't want to hear about the spoilers for the story, you go ahead and get off now. Heliod did get completed, and he was killed by Kaya, with almost no fight. Just pretty much, she just ran up him, stuck a knife in his throat, and killed him. Very anticlimactic for someone who laid the smackdown on Elspeth and also could not kill Xenagos. So I'm a little not impressed. The second thing I was not impressed with was I thought it was cool that the Praetors turned on each other. That's what should happen. However, Vorinclex getting decapitated by Stuntman number 2 was not impressive at all, and was literally less than a paragraph of an entertainment in the story. So I thought that was dumb as well. They could have just done so much better. I get it, but come on, guys. Really? Where are all the cool planeswalkers who get to do the cool stuff I mean, yeah, Kaya killed Heliod. I'm not happy about it, but I'm more happy about that than Stuntman number 2 flopping Vorinclex's head off. Um, yeah, and from what I've been hearing, they're gonna bring Planeswalkers back by sacrificing Malira. F that. Kill the Planeswalkers, let Malira live, and come up with something else and some better Planeswalkers. For the love of God, your job is to create for the game and be innovative. Make new characters. Because, for one, if you bring characters back, and I've mentioned this before, and you don't bring back Jason Vraska, I'm going to be a bit pissy. Because that was a love story that I actually got into there for a second. Um, which it could even be better as well, but still. Anyway, so I'm done rambling, guys. Thanks a lot for watching and hanging out. Put some comments down below. Tell me what you think. Till next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.